It's Monday at 2 o'clock. That means it's Lancaster Connects time. Welcome back to Lancaster Connects. We've got a great guest with us, Dan Murphy from Decker's Blueprint. We're going to bring Dan into the conversation in just a few minutes, but we're going to take care of some business right out of the gate. Ben, it's President's Day. Love your mattress month here at Gardner's. We're having a great month, aren't we?
Yes, all month long. It's been fantastic.
Serving a lot of customers.
A lot of people are loving their mattress.
They are.
Or their new mattress. Soon to be new mattress.
They are. Yeah. And in case you didn't know, we really do love our business. And we had somebody share a testimonial that this was the very best purchasing experience for their whole home. And that's what we seek to do here. We don't really look at what the chain stores do or the department stores do. That's not our competition. Our competition, and for you as our customer, is to have your purchase and time with us be as defect-free, the most amazing buying experience for your home. And this month with President's Day, you've got a lot of great vendor specials and promotions that we've put together. So if now is the time, it's a great time, and that decision will be handsomely rewarded this month. Love Your Mattress Month with our President's Day savings. My mattress tip for you, and this speaks to our passion for our business. We just came back from Las Vegas market. We're bringing on two more new vendors.
At least 2 new ones and at least a couple new lines.
Yeah. So expansion with current and 2 brand new ones, which dovetails into my mattress tip for you. And that's be very wary of where you shop and how they curate the selection you might consider investing in. If it's just from one brand, I will tell you, because we have this option to have just one brand that really serves the merchant first and the factory first. It's not so much serving the customer the best or first. You're going to get exactly what that factory only excels at, represented to you through that retail floor. And you're not going to get a curated selection, whereas we're working with bringing these 2 other vendors on, I think now 11 key vendors.
Yeah.
Something like
close to that.
You know, if you were in mattress business class in college, which there is no such course, but if there were, the 101 course would say, don't do it like Jeff and Ben do, because it's really dumb. It's a constraint on your operations. It's a constraint on your time and energy. But what they would miss is it's a 100% benefit to the customer experience. That curated selection really benefits you. We cherry pick the best of the best that's out there in technologies and comforts and quality levels, and bring that to you. And it's certainly the harder way to work. It would be great to have one truck coming in here twice a week.
Mm-hmm. That would be more predictable.
But instead, we've got the controlled chaos that we manage and you never see as our customer. And that's why we're so proud of that one testimonial where a customer texted me and said, this has been the best experience for our home. And that's our goal. So that's my mattress tip. Be very wary of the places that sell one brand or one factory only. It's not necessarily for your benefit first. Our curated process, we feel, wins at that.
Love it.
Yeah.
I think it's time for the wheel spin.
It is time. Are you queuing it up or am I?
I'll cue it up.
Okay.
I'll cue it up.
That was basically Ben's code for Jeff. You've talked for the first 3 minutes. Let me talk.
We're moving on. So we talked pre-show. Yep. You ready with your spin that wheel, right?
Ready to spin that wheel.
All right.
Go ahead and spin that wheel.
All right, there we go. This discount for Lancaster Connects watchers and listeners this week only here at Gardner's Mattress and More. Looks like landing on free delivery of your new mattress purchase. Oh, here we go.
See, I said I wasn't. Dan just made the cat. Just saved you some money, folks.
That's a new sound effect. Okay, you can
see. I said I wasn't going to do it because I act like a child with it.
I think Chris could turn that off on his end.
Exactly what I did.
So this week, the week of February 23rd, for all Lancaster Connects listeners and watchers, come into Gardner's Mattress and More. Any purchase, you'll qualify for free delivery based on Dan's wheel spin. Thank you, Dan.
That's a good wheel spin.
Welcome.
Very much appreciate that. That
sounds like a good deal.
Much savings as there is on the wheel.
I think it is. Yeah. That's a good one. That's why we ran the cash register.
Oh, it's ching
like 7 times. All right. You want to introduce Dan?
Yeah, let's do it. So Dan Murphy is our guest. Dan, welcome to Lancaster Connects. Dan, you reached out to us to be a guest on the show, and we're really excited to have you on to learn more about your son Decker's story and, of course, what Decker's Blueprint is all about. I know you've poured your heart into this for the last handful of years here, and really looking forward to learning more. So, welcome to Lancaster Connects. We're glad you're here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So, who is Decker?
Decker is now my 8-year-old son. And 2 years ago, we went down this journey and can get into those details. But he's a strong little boy. He's 8 years old. He's the rule follower and very loving kid.
And what is his story?
So about 2 years ago, my wife and I just started noticing that he was having trouble getting off the floor and going up downstairs. And quickly we started kind of pushing our pediatrician that something doesn't feel right here. What's going on? Shortly after that, we ended up down in CHOP in Children's Hospital in Philadelphia. And within a few couple blood tests at one appointment, we've got some really devastating news. And our son Decker was diagnosed with Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy. And 2 years ago, I had no idea what that was. I couldn't even say the word Duchenne.
Yeah, I've never heard of it before. I've heard of muscular dystrophy, but not Duchenne.
Yeah, there's different variants and variables of muscular dystrophy, and I just honestly never heard of them before. But Duchenne is unfortunately the worst. Then there's Becker's, there's limb-girdle, and there's different variants. But generally speaking, boys within 4 and 5 years old are developed with Duchenne muscular dystrophy if they have this disease. And it starts to show its face by, struggling to walk, muscles breaking down. And typically what happens is by the time they're 10 or 12, they end up going into a wheelchair. And by early 20s, it's life ending because of heart and lung failure, different things, because everything in your body is a muscle.
Yeah.
So it's a really terrible disease that we had just learned about very quickly.
Yeah, that's got to be, puts a lot into focus for you, I would imagine.
It really does. And
being given a timeline like that.
We went from a 6-year-old healthy little boy with the life that you plan and you want in front of you for your family, and literally 48 hours going to a boy that went from healthy to sick and going to be lost potentially by the time he's 20, 25 years old, and going into a wheelchair by the time he's 10 or 12. That is something that's, I don't know what's worse. It really hit us hard. Within 48 hours of learning that, my wife and I don't think we got out of bed for the first 2 weeks, not knowing what freight train just hit us.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yep. As they say, I'm going to butcher the saying, but in relation to health, people will have only one wish for health when they don't have it. And when we do have our health, we don't think of it.
Right.
I'm butchering. There's a very profound quote around that, but that's the gist of it. Yeah. Yeah. But you've chosen to face that. Obviously, you're more than within your right to feel the way you felt initially, but instead you've chosen, instead of just to sit with that, you've chosen to try to do something about it. And that's what Decker's Blueprint's all about. And so how's that relate to Decker? Decker, I guess, has some interest in building and design, and you come from that industry of home building. Although your personal businesses, you're blessed to have those work for you, and now you're able to focus solely on Decker's health. But how's his interest in building and design tie into Decker's Blueprint?
Sure, and I guess I should probably start by, I lost my father when I was 5 years old to a rare cancer. It had nothing to do with this disease, and this disease is typically carried by women, what I learned. So my wife is a carrier of Duchenne muscular dystrophy.
Oh, wow.
And if you have a boy and you're a carrier of the disease, you have a 50-50 chance of having a healthy boy or not.
Oh,
so unfortunately, we got the bad side of the coin. And my wife carries that guilt. I'm like, this is not your fault. This is nothing for you to carry. We're in this together.
That's tough.
But I lost my dad at a young age because it created me who I am today, which I think's given me a platform to help build and fight for these boys, including my son. And I was always losing my dad. I had to grow up quickly. I had a lot of just loss and just figuring out between our mom and my brother, the three of us are very tight, very close, knowing that when you get knocked down, you got to get back up, you got to keep going. So I'm not immune to bad things happening in life. We've dealt with a lot through all that, but it's also made me who I am, and really proud of where we've come from. And we've come from nothing and built everything that we have.
Wow.
Which has then got me into home building. So I started my career in home building by profession. I worked for a large local builder here, and we really built a great team and systems over the years, building this blueprints and whatnot. So over the years, my son was always right there with me drawing blueprints.
Oh, cool.
And he always said, "Dad, I want to build homes with you." And it's my dream to do that. What better feeling is that in the world when your kid wants to follow your dreams and build the American dream? Everybody loves their home and need their safety of their home. And I think 3 and 4 years old, I have a stack of 14, 15 blueprints in my house, in my office, that Decker has drawn with me. And I literally could build from them. They just don't have the dimensions, but the look and the feel of them, he totally gets it. So he's always told me, Dad, I want you to help me build my home. And this
skill
disease has brought a lot of clarity to what's important in life, although I feel like I learned that at a young age losing my dad.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to build those homes, and the goal of Decker's blueprint is we're going to build the blueprint to his cure of disease for these boys that are being left behind. And that's how it's all tied together. It's my profession of building homes, as well as him having that skill set. He's so good. He has on the iPads now. He can totally build you a whole 3D model home and knows all the parts and pieces and how to build a home that I didn't know at that age. I have no idea how he learned a lot of that, but it was watching and just doing it himself.
I'm just sitting here like Decker's a lot smarter than me. I've just been impressed myself the last few months with my iPad. I found the Notability app and I can not have scratch notebooks anymore. I just have it on my iPad. Here's Decker at 8 years old building homes on an iPad. Good for these kids with technology. It's great. I love that he's into that with you. It's so cool you had him like in your hip pocket. And none of that time can get taken from you, right? Like you always have that. And his ability for design is always going to be there. That's great.
He has his journal from school that he brings home, and he has all kinds of pictures in there of our personal home that we built 5 years ago. And he was there, with every moment with me, but he was even 2-3 years old when we built the home, and he still can draw it perfectly. And he comes home with these drawings in his journal, and he has our house drawn designed to the perfect dimensions. And a few years ago, we put in a pool, which actually is great for muscular dystrophy, for exercising the muscles. He drew and designed literally the whole pool with me and has blueprints that he brings home from school in his journal. And it's really cool.
Very cool.
Can you talk, so you just mentioned maybe a little bit of his care there. Can you talk a little bit about the care that he and others with Duchenne muscular dystrophy go through? And then maybe talk a little bit about Decker's blueprint and what you strive to do with that to help others going through the same thing.
Yeah, as far as care, like thankfully, if Decker walked in here today, he looked relatively normal. So again, it's just slow progression. So in the first few stages, it's really getting with your doctors, and a lot of these kids are put on steroids day one. So Decker is on daily steroids to help strengthen his muscle. And then weekly, we take him to physical therapy at least twice a week to some local places here that are excellent. And then we also swim with him once a week to help keep those muscles limber and flexing. Mm-hmm. Because the muscles, as they're essentially dying, they're starting to like contract. So at night, he wears these nighttime braces every night. So if you think of a ski boot and you're wearing them on your foot to ski, well, he wears these ski boots every night to bed to help stretch his heel cords.
Oh, wow.
And every night he says to me, Dad, do I have to keep wearing these? Can I stop wearing these ski boots? And what do you tell an 8-year-old boy with this terrible disease, like what this looks like? So we just tell him that he has special muscles and that Mom and Dad are doing everything we can to get him better medicine. But part of that care is those night braces at night. And we go to 3 different hospitals: CHOP in Philadelphia, Nationwide Children's Hospital in Ohio, and Kennedy Krieger down in Maryland. So there's constant just doctor visits and checking his heart and lung function, his bones. When you're taking steroids daily, there's all kinds of things with your bones and things that I'm not even familiar with because I'm just not a doctor. I'm a home builder, but I've learned to become a scientist doctor through all this.
Wow.
But that progression gets much worse as they get older, as they need more needs. Their heart starts having issues, their lungs, they need breathing machines, and eventually, unfortunately, lose their life in typically their mid-20s because everything just fails.
Yeah, well, so obviously a lot of time spent back and forth to facilities and doctors. And I'm sure these 3 places that you've gone and you just mentioned, they're wonderful to work with, I'm sure, but it's a lot of time and cost.
It's a huge time commitment, travel. I don't know how families do it. And that was a big part of Decker's blueprint that my wife and I have been blessed to be in this position that we've worked really hard to be in, that we can get our son the best care that he can, as well as like how do we provide resources for these other families that don't have these possibilities.
What are those resources?
Yeah. So the one thing that we did hear just locally, there's another local family that we just was struggling to function in around his home. So they reached out to us through Decker's Blueprint, and we funded them a lift chair in his home so he can function safely in his home to get to and from the bathroom. Because most kids go off their feet by the time they're 10 or 12 and they're in a wheelchair, a motorized chair. But then the bathroom functions at home. And part of what I think my direction will be moving forward to is helping some of these kids adapt in their home, because they need contractors, they need construction, they need ramps, different things like that. But we specifically funded a chairlift for him. And then we're getting ready to launch here online, just like a support chat group online. What my wife finds really helpful is these chat groups across the world and US, because there's 1 in 5,000 boys are born with this disease. So there is multiple families here locally and in the US. And I actually met a family in India that we helped get to the US to get some treatment.
Wow.
Which has been an amazing story. But it's the online chat group has been huge for my wife. Just how are they sleeping? How are they changing their medications? What are they using for their splints at night for the stretching of their feet? It's not a perfect science. Not everybody has all the answers. So it's really a community of support.
Yeah, that's one of the ways that social media has improved life in general. I mean, you can say a lot of maybe not so nice things about the things that go on social media, but when you can connect with other people going through the same sorts of things, that's got to be a huge help.
It's been huge. You feel part of the family. It's in a family you honestly don't want to be part of, but once you're part of them, you realize how strong these people are. And they're some of the best people I've met in the world. And I mean that.
Yeah. I mean, pressure in this form, I'm using the word pressure from an unfortunate diagnosis. No, you wouldn't want or wish on anybody, but pressure, you can choose how you respond to it. And you can also choose how you look at it. And I would just challenge anybody listening and watching, consider maybe what you're upset about today. Consider maybe what's got you stressed out today. Ben, you said the negatives of social media. Yeah, just set it aside and be grateful for where you're at. I mean, I've shared from time to time on our show, my wife's personal health journey the last 18 months. It's not been easy. She'll pick up this show later today. I'll tell her tonight. And her attitude is she'll be grateful for her station, her current position. Because there'll be an end. There'll be an end for my wife. There'll be an end for you. And, this is a disease, muscular dystrophy, and Duchenne is not a disease that just goes away. You just have to face it. And kudos to you and your family for facing it. And then having the strength to say, not just for us, but for others, we're going to take what time we have and give to others, which I think is a big takeaway here. So thank you for that. That's really cool.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's been a journey I didn't think I would ever be on. I thought I had the pain in my life early on, and I'm like, well, I'll be immune to it. Well, we're not immune to it. Things happen, but I love my life. I truly do. I have a lot of awesome things that I'm proud of, and through our foundation, what we've done here in literally the last 12 months, because it's literally only about 12 months old. Wow. We've done so much in 12 months, and if I can help these children in this manner, it'd be the best success story of my life. Nothing better. And one important thing for me is what I'm trying to get out of our mission is just to go home and hug your spouse, hug your kids just a little bit harder, and realize that the little things just don't matter. Because I've noticed that in our dinner gala that we had, that our feedback from that event was tremendous, and people just came back and they just said they just hug their kids a little longer at night. And to me, right there is the difference for me.
Yeah, that's powerful. It really is. Yeah, I mean, it pales in comparison, but I was telling Ben earlier today, my youngest boy he turned 18, so he started doing Instacart, and he's in line for DoorDash. And I'm really proud of him. He made $150 yesterday doing Instacart. Nice. Now, that last one was late at night. We came home from dinner, and he's like, I really want to get this one, but we're like, it's starting to really snow bad. Maybe be safe. When you say hugging your kids, well, that's what we were most worried about, setting them out in the snow. Well, wouldn't you know it, on our way home, his phone dings and he gets an order, and it just was perfect the way it worked out. I'm like, well, there's God looking out for us. You get your bonus money, which helped him get that, and he was safe. And I got to hug my kid, knowing he was going to be home and not wanting to go out as an 18-year-old man. Yep. Right. Which we're already kind of, well, I'm an 18-year-old now, Dad. I can do, like, I know, but I also know safety. that's awesome that you have that so in your vision and sight of more time and hugging your kids a little longer like that.
It makes me emotional.
Sure.
And I don't know obviously how I can, but I love my kids. I love my family. And I think obviously anybody in the situation would fight as much as you can. But it's a burden. It lives with us every day. It doesn't go away. Part of the progression is the kids start to fall. My son started falling a few times. A few weeks ago, he was in gym class running, tripped and fell into the bleachers, and he came home and he had a black and blue from his ear down to his mouth. And I came in the door and I just gave him a hug. He came and gave me a hug, and he just said that he just wanted to run, Dad. I just wanted to run.
Yeah.
And their feet get heavy because their muscles are breaking down. And all I could do was just wanted to
hug him.
Take it from him.
Yeah.
Hug him, take it from him.
Yeah. So when someone reaches out to Decker's Blueprint, how are you helping them? Like, what does that process look like? I mean, I'm sure there's a number of ways that help can be given.
Yeah.
Right?
So our large focus is honestly research based. So there's some of these local families that we absolutely want to help. And there's a lot of help that's needed. And to me, somewhere I want to branch our foundation to be more of that support. But what we found is after the first 12 months of our son being diagnosed, we traveled all over the U.S., looked across the world, and there is some really good treatments coming for Duchenne muscular dystrophy. But it's only for certain kids. And there's a whole DNA strand of mutation that defines that.
Oh, wow.
And then there's also antibodies. And unfortunately, so we were getting ready to go into a gene therapy in a trial, which is scary, but it was showing a lot of good results in these trials. And we went through all the testing, and Decker came back with certain antibodies, which just means they didn't feel comfortable giving him the drug because it could have an autoimmune response and kill him. And what we found is there's about 30% of boys that are excluded from these drugs. And what we determined is after those 12 months is we have to start Decker's Blueprint. Our son and these other 30% of boys are not going to be left behind.
Okay, well.
Now, you said something that piqued my interest. You said your foundation established in 12 months' time. So, I mean, that's an incredible speed. Are you set up as like a 501c3? I mean, that's just an incredible speed to get that done on top of being a parent, on top of being a father and a wife to your son and handling this coming into your life. So it's might be hard or weird to say, but kudos to you for that. I mean, again, you're setting up, you see the reality and you're facing it head on. And that's just, it's really powerful. I know it might not feel powerful.
No, thank you. In 2024, like November is when we got the bad news that he didn't qualify for these trials and we had nothing. And you just feel that your heart sink and you're like, this can't happen. And as a dad, I'm like, I got to fix this. Yep. And I'm a home builder and I know what problems are. When you have to know what the problem is, you can go right at it. And I'm very direct. I move quickly, but very focused. And right away, we started the foundation, designed it, got the 513C paperwork all completed. And then we launched our first gala in January of 2025. And that was in March. And we raised over $400,000 at that gala in our first night. And we were only in existence for 90 days.
That's unbelievable.
I mean, again, I'm sure you know, but I'm just going to say it out loud. That's an incredible accomplishment. I mean, you see the various charities around us here.
Is that the gala?
That's the gala. Yep.
Where was it?
That was at the List Track building in Lidditz, or Foundry building.
Up in Lidditz. Yeah.
Wow.
We have had a huge amount of support from the community. I'm only where I'm at in my life because of my relationships, and that started way before Decker's Blueprint was founded. And I know that, and I've leveraged that, and this community came around us in a huge way. And people showed up. We sold out in, I think it was 60, 90 days, and to raise over $400,000, and we were only in existence for about 90 days. I'm forever grateful.
That's incredible. I mean, again, some of these organizations, not to detract or take away from their efforts, because they all have impact in their own way, but there's probably a handful up here that 400,000 is like their budget for the quarter or for the year.
Yeah.
Well, and in 90 days to start, what have you raised in total so far?
So after that gala was finished, I knew what paths I need to work on from a research standpoint and where the gap was and where the boys were being left behind. So I spent the next 6 to 8 months working really hard with the relationships in the science community and saying, all right, who are the top players? I only want the best. And I don't want to be just throwing mud to a wall and hoping it sticks. I'm methodical. When I build a home, I build the foundation up and you build off those pieces and you get the roof on. So I didn't feel raising money philanthropically is a new term to me. I do not like asking people for money. That has been really weird for me. I had to get over it because I don't have a choice. And we're helping this huge population. And lost my thought there and where we're going. But
I was asking what you'd raised to date.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
so
okay.
for those 6 to 8 months, just nailing down those contracts and what they need to be. So we have 2 specific science paths that we're actively funding. And once that was finalized in August, September of this year is when we started fundraising again. So our fiscal year for 2025, we ended at about $560,000 for the year.
Fantastic.
So it was really about 6 months of active fundraising because the other 6, 8 months was like, hey, let's make sure the plan's in place and it's solid.
Yeah.
So those plans of action and trial and need, what do those plans say they need from a financial aspect of things?
Yeah. So,
or is there a financial goal you have in mind?
There is. So we've laid out over the next 2 years is actually a $5 million goal. So in the next 6 months, we're actively trying to raise $1.5 million, and we're having these other events coming up. We have some grants that we've applied for, and we have these 2 science paths. One is called exon skipping, and it has a lot of positive data behind it. There's 2 companies that have already released a bunch of data. Some of these boys are getting stronger running and playing sports. I just want my son to be able to walk. Mm-hmm. He can play sports. That would be amazing. But this medicine is working, and in the DMD gene, which is Duchenne, there's 79 exons. They call it chapters in a book. I call it chapters in a book. Yeah. And a lot of these kids have mutations around exon 41, 44, 51, so which is a lot of where the science is, because that's where the money is for the pharmaceutical companies. Mm-hmm. And so we're funding certain rare exons. My son falls in this rare exons. His mutation is at exon 12. And exon 12 is where you can jump the mutation. So to get to chapter 1 to 79, if you get to the end, you make the protein dystrophin, which is what these boys need to keep your muscles strong. And it's proof that on exon 44 and 51 that these 2 companies have already built, they've skipped them. And you get to chapter 79, it makes enough of a healthy protein that these boys are living and getting stronger. Now, this is all really new. The science started probably 10 years ago, but now it's actually out there and real. So what we're funding is exon 12, and it's actually exon 11 and 12. We have to skip both of them. And there's several boys out in the country and that we can help that will help that situation with skipping their exons.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Again, what intense focus to respond to a moment and get to this point. It's really, really profound.
Something we saw on the screen there, people were flexing.
Yeah.
What's the flex all about?
So when we all failed, when there was no treatments available for Decker, we were down at CHOP in Philadelphia, and I just felt the world coming down on us. We have no options. We just failed this screening for this gene therapy. So I took my wife and kids over to the art museum steps in Philadelphia.
I think we saw that.
Steps. Yep.
Yeah.
On our homepage, there's a YouTube video of that video. It's half the video. There's another half that we showed at our gala that I should put on the website. But Rocky Sylvester Stallone's been a big part of my life with muscle and just boxing and Rocky. And when you get knocked down, you just get back up because we've been knocked down a lot in our life. Yep. And I wanted to come up with something kind of like the ice bucket challenge. So I came up with the flex challenge. And it's to bring awareness, and we're here to build muscle. So Decker's Blueprint logo is my son flexing. If you look at the logo, it's him flexing in there, making the muscle, because we're here to build muscle. So the flex challenge is to bring awareness. We have large companies supporting us, their company, Christmas parties or whatnot, they're flexing for us. And what my vision goal has been meeting with celebrities and different politicians, just bringing awareness. And we actually got a video from Sylvester Stallone. He sent me a personal video to my son, which is amazing.
Wow.
And I think
Rocky himself.
I'd like to post it. Somehow I was able to get to him through some friends.
That's awesome.
Because we live in Manheim, Pennsylvania. We are not celebrities. We just work really hard and have a very determined mission.
Yeah.
Politically aside, we met President Bush a couple months ago, which is cool. Got him to flex. Brandon Graham from the Philadelphia Eagles. Taylor Kenny from Chicago Fire.
Yeah.
Ron Jaworski, the sports guy, and reporter from years ago. Several are doctors and scientists and just people we've met along the way, senators, congressmen. So it's really that flex challenge, and we're posting these pictures as they come to bring awareness to Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy and then Decker's Blueprint.
How do you think some of these celebrities can help you spread the word? I mean, that's part of the goal, right? If you can get some financial backing from celebrities like a Sylvester Stallone to help you fuel this mission.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
To me, I knew it just needed to be bigger than Lancaster County.
Yeah.
To me, I talked about that family from India that we brought over to the U.S. to help. They just got gene therapy, and their boy is probably going to walk an extra 5 years before he faces these real challenges. And she just sent me an amazing message the other night that it was not possible without our relationship and Decker's Blueprint of just awareness. And her boy has the same mutation, exon 12, as our son Decker. And we met on that Facebook group chat from across the globe. So the Flex Challenge to me is just making this bigger. If we can get to the big people, Bill Gates, the Sylvester Stallones, people who have the funding, to me, this problem is solvable. The data is there. The science is already proven in a lot of aspects. It's all really scary, but we have some good data from these companies with exon skipping. And if I can get the attention of some of these people, these celebrities, we could really make a difference. Because to me, it's really now just a funding issue. It's not a fundamental, what's the science do? Yes, there's still a little bit of unknown, but we have a lot of proof that it's working.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's muscular dystrophy was long supported by, was it Jerry Lewis?
Yeah.
Telethon?
Yep.
Yeah. Who's taking up? Is that still a thing anymore? That ended.
It's not. It ended. And I think if we could get someone of that caliber today to get behind this and get the funding going, it would be tremendous. Because to me, the solutions are here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of red tape with getting through the FDA and different things, and some of it rightfully so. They're children. And the last thing I want to do is hurt my son.
Yeah.
But we also know that we don't have any other options. To me as a dad, I'm okay. I'd rather die trying. That's just my mentality.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, it's easy. It's easy for people who aren't in it to Monday morning quarterback those moments, those thoughts, those ideas. My wife with her MS.
There it is. There's a clip of it.
There's Sylvester Stallone. We're in this midst now of all these different trials to try for her health and where she's at, and it's easy for people to weigh in when you don't have a seat at the table, so to say. It's not your life, it's not your child, it's not your health. So in a way, I'm beside you. I don't live your life, but I get it. And the fact that you've done what you've done in such a short time is just astounding. So again, kudos.
Thank you. What's really hard is that everybody else is living their life. Everything keeps moving forward. And this isn't to make anybody feel guilty, but it's just the reality of our friends are taking their kids to baseball and football practice and soccer practice and complaining about having to run around too much. And I just love that opportunity.
Right.
All I ever want to do is watch my son play football.
Right.
And we're figuring out, how do we get to Ohio? How do we get to CHOP? Who's taking him? Are you working today? My wife works all but full time. I have my businesses I need to run that allows me to work on Decker's Blueprint, or it wouldn't be possible.
Right.
Yeah.
So our dinner conversations are much different, and that's hard.
Yeah. The quote I was trying to think of: a person in good health has 1,000 wishes. A person with bad health has one. To have good health.
Totally.
Yeah.
I usually get there, folks. I just kind of have to speak it out. The way this brain works isn't always clean, not always efficient at times, but it does work. Right? I do have good ideas.
Mostly, yeah.
And we lead and serve well and all that good stuff.
Dan, what are some of the ways? I mean, the community came out and supported you big time with your gala there. What are some other ways that the Lancaster community that you've noticed that they've come out and supported Decker and Decker's Blueprint?
So we started a fundraising committee for Decker's Blueprint, and then we also have a scientific advisory committee because I want the best doctors speaking into the science that we're funding. But what really stood out to me is this fundraising group, this team of people that are helping us be organized behind the scenes. They're doing it all free of charge. They're not being paid to do this. They just saw a need and the relationship they have with our family and meeting my son. They just were called to help. And I'm just blown away by that. Mm-hmm. They're donating their time and energy and money. Several of them are donors. They're all donors to Decker's Blueprint. And just the community in general. I've had so many meetings. I try to have 2 to 3 lunch meetings a week with business owners, just regular people, and they all send a check after I share our mission and vision. And I'm just blown away. And I hate that. I hate asking. I hate just sharing it, but I'm just sharing my story. Yeah. And people are so giving. I didn't realize that before. Yeah. I don't know why, but I just didn't realize. I knew how good people are, but I didn't realize how great they are.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, it speaks to your heart. It speaks to the mission of what you're doing, which is to save your son and save many other people's sons from a rough go round, so to say. I mean, a rough diagnosis. Yeah. One thing you're going to do, and we're going to break this news here. There it is. There's the flex challenge. I like it.
Yeah.
Like everybody's flexing.
We got that whole room to flex that night. It was amazing. Everybody stood and flexed.
So cool.
That's good. May 14th at Overlook Golf Course. You're going to have Decker's Blueprint golf outing. Tell us about what you got in store for that.
Yeah, excited for that. We decided not to do the gala this year just because of the time and energy that went into it and the expense. And we know what we need now. We know the science we need to fund. So we want every dollar as much as we can to go to that science and the funding that's needed. And the Overlook golf outing is going to be a great opportunity just for sponsorships and come have a great time and learn about Decker's Blueprint. And we're also currently working really hard at getting possibly a few celebrities there to join us and be part of that golf outing. We've had a lot of great support from them, having met these people doing the Flex Challenge. And that's really our next event. We are going to work on probably having a few just smaller private dinners, again, to focus on the money directly going to the science versus the large gala. But we are going to bring the gala back April 3rd, 2027. That will be back. But the golf outing is our next event.
Yep. And that's May 14th at Overlook Golf Course. And we're breaking it here on Lancaster Connects as news. It's not on the website yet, but it will be.
It will be here within the next 2 weeks or so.
Yeah. So if you love golf and you like Dan's passion here for his little boy Decker, and you want to help others with muscular dystrophy, specifically Duchenne, May 14th at 1 o'clock at Overlook Golf Course. If you can put your own foursome together, that's always great, right? Again, it helps folks like Dan just focus on raising the most as opposed to, I got to put this person here with that person there. And I got a 3 here and I got a 2 there, right? You'd rather spend time at a lunch outing or a lunch meeting focused on the science and have that come to be. When I do the golf outings, I'm that guy. Like, just if I don't have a foursome, like, just put me with the guys that want to drink and have a good time, not the guys that want to win, because I'm not a good golfer at all. I'm a terrible golfer. But you're a better golfer.
I'm okay. I can swing a club, I guess.
Yeah.
Dan, so obviously, the last 12 months putting this together has been, I'm sure, just a whirlwind getting it off the ground and getting the support from the community and celebrities and whatnot. But what does the next year, 2 or 3 look like for Decker's Blueprint?
Yeah, thanks. And I didn't share what the other avenues that we're funding, which touches on that.
Please do, yeah.
The first one is that exon skipping that's really specific to Duchenne and to these boys being left behind. The second avenue is called tRNA therapy. And within the U.S. alone, there's 40 million people with a rare disease. There's just amazing how many people have a rare disease. But 10 to 15% of rare diseases are a nonsense mutation, which is what Decker has. So there's diseases with cystic fibrosis, Duchenne, different ones that have nonsense mutations. So that tRNA therapy that we're working on, which is more of our 3-5 year plan of what we're funding, is truly almost a chronic cure treatment. But the cool thing about that funding is it can help multiple diseases. So when you do the math on that, it's 3 to 4 million people that we could potentially help in the U.S., just the U.S. alone, that have a nonsense mutation. So I talked about that chapter in the book 1 to 79, or the actually exons. So Decker's is exon 12. We're trying to skip exon 12, so chapter 11 to chapter 13 exons. But with the tRNA therapy, that mutation 12 the mutation creates a stop sign at 12. So that this tRNA technology does is trick the stop sign to become a go light, a green light, and just reads through. So we're doing option one is we're jumping it, which is in your DNA, which is just amazing and fascinating. I've learned so much about all this. Yeah. And option two is that we're just tricking the mutation, the stop sign, to be a green light to go. And that's a little bit more of a long-term solution, but we're seeing a lot of good promising data, and our scientists that are working on it are doing amazing things. And again, it's not just Duchenne, it's anybody with a nonsense mutations, which is 3 to 4 million people just in the US. Wow. To me, I want to solve this direct problem. I struggle a little bit when I came in this world. I'm like, we don't want to be broad. We can't be helping kids with this. We can't be helping kids with this. We can't be funding research for this. We got to be a little bit more specific to move the needle faster, because it just moves so slow. So that's why when I started Decker's Blueprint, I said, we're going to be very narrow focused. We're going to fix this problem. Yeah. So, and hopefully in 5 years, my goal is that these kids are getting a life-saving treatment that's probably going to be every 6 to 8 weeks, but it will allow them to live a relatively normal life. And once we fix that problem, then we're going to go and attack the next problem. Yeah, right. I don't want to be attacking too many at the same time. So that's kind of our 3 to 5 year goal, is that short-termers, we're funding the exon. We're also funding the tRNA, tricking it to a green light. But then my goal is in 3 to 5 years when we solve that problem, because in my head, we're going to solve it. I don't have a choice. I believe that we're going to solve it, but then we're going to go solve the next problem.
And part of the key to solving it is fundraising. It's financial.
Truly, what I feel right now is truly financial. You know, we need the support of the community and everybody around us, and to get behind this, and we can help a lot of kids. And you're talking about the difference from a kid going through graduation in a wheelchair or walking across the stage. And to me, like, that is my passion. That is my goal. And if I can get that kid to walk across the stage versus a wheelchair,
that's a win.
Yeah, it's a huge win.
Yep. You had mentioned grants, so we're at the point in our show where I'm not afraid to ask. So I'm sure on Decker's Blueprint site, there's a donation page. So please, folks, if you're connected to this story and this mission and Dan's passion to just refuse to sit down, lay down, and take anything but a success and a cure, donate online, please. You can donate by mail if you prefer to do check. But the online thing is great. And maybe you think about maybe not $500, but if you could, fantastic. If more, even better. But maybe you just say, I got $20 and I have $20 each month. Do you do the recurring thing?
We do.
Fantastic.
We've had several people step up and do recurring donations. And then we also have the donor advisor link on there. Some people donated their donor advisor funds, which is great.
Yep.
But I'm really grateful for any support you can give. Every dollar truly matters. And time is muscle. I always tell people time is muscle. So this is urgent. We're moving really fast. I'm working literally until 10 p.m. every night. We're running our world, or running Decker's Blueprint, and time is muscle.
Yeah, and given this is a personal passion project, you had said all volunteer, so 100% of donations go to research.
It really does. I mean, obviously, we have to pay the accountant and some attorney fees, and there's some small administrative, but our team that's working on it is 100% volunteer.
Yeah. So you've got that, but then you also mentioned grants. And so, folks listening, watching, whether it's Decker's Blueprint or others, but I would hope you could connect to Dan and his family story and Decker's story. We talk about treasure in donations, time. So if you would have time to help Decker's Blueprint out, please do reach out through the site or through the show notes here. But then talents come down to like grant writing. So if you know somebody who writes grants, or you are a grant writer and would say, you know what, I'm really connected with this, please do reach out, because I'm sure you would take somebody who's great at writing grants to help you secure some of those monies.
I'm really glad you said that. There's so many little niches within the philanthropic world of how you can fundraise and go get money. And I've had to learn a lot of that. Having that person who understands and writing grants is amazing. And I've tapped into a few of those people, but we need more help, and would love any other foundations or places that where we can apply that fit within their mission of what they're trying to do. Like, that's probably a lot of my challenge, is finding the foundations and companies that give money to fit into their peer, their groups of what they give to. And there's a lot of time and research that goes in that. And then you got to write the grant based on their requirements and what they're looking for. And if people are willing to help with that, it would be huge, and it would allow us to move faster. And there's a lot of ground out there to cover. And I'm trying to move us outside of just Lancaster because of how fast we have to move. And I know more dollars behind this would move it faster.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Well, as you said, time is muscle. And so if that meant anything to you, if you felt a certain way, as I did when Dan said that, time, talent, treasure, if you've got those talents, please do. You might, it might go a lot further than $1,000 donation. And if it's your skill and you can share it, please do. That's what we do here on the show, share our platform, bring in folks like Dan and allow Dan to tell the story. Just as we look to wrap up, Dan, what advice would you give to other families navigating, this time in their life with this children or as a family, maybe a different family member, something rare, something out of the blue, in trying to build something meaningful out of this moment?
That's took me a little while to figure that out. But when you're first given a rare diagnosis like this, especially for a child, you really struggle. You hit the rock bottom. You're not sure how you're going to survive out of this. You don't know what it looks like. And all your dreams, everything you had in your head disappear. But I would tell you, it does get better. You keep moving forward. When you get knocked down, you get back up and keep moving forward. And you'll get your feet back underneath of you. And you really need to lean on the support systems in your community, the people around you, your family. I have a very strong family, and I'm blessed with that. And my encouragement, too, is to see multiple doctors. Some people will be afraid to switch or whatnot. And I'm saying they're all very good, but everybody's human. You only know so much. And as we traveled the world, you start to realize how everybody has a different opinion, how they approach things differently. Mm-hmm. With AI coming, you can read documents much faster and bring data together. I just encourage people to get multiple doctors looking at them. Don't tell them the insurance isn't going to pay for it. You figure it out. We've had to fight that battle, and insurance is a huge issue. But to get the best care for your loved one or who it is, get 2, 3, 4 opinions and stick with them, because they don't all know the same things.
Yeah. That's great advice.
Yeah,
really is.
Well, you're spot on. I mean, again, I know that from our family's health journeys over the years, and it's not that you seek to offend a doctor when you say I'm going to get another opinion. It's you're seeking to support, help, save the person, yourself, a family member. It's just a simple, different way of looking at something. Can just change the entire scope, can change the entire direction of care, opportunity, and outcome.
I truly feel that's made a difference in my son right now of buying us time. And what I found with these doctors that we've gotten the right team is they're willing to talk to each other. And to me, how important that is versus having an ego of like, no, I just do my own thing. This is a complicated disease. A lot of diseases are complicated. And you want the best team working with you and for you to give you the best outcome. And I feel we have that, and they're amazing people, amazing doctors, and I would search hard for that.
Yeah. Very good. That's great, man. Thank you for spending time with us. Mind if we ask you a few fun questions?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing Decker's story. It's powerful. Really is. Should I go first?
Yeah, go first.
All right. So obviously you've taken some long drives. So are you and your family, you listen to music? You listen to podcasts? What does the car ride look like for you?
So my son is building homes in the back on his iPad in our 6-hour drive to Nationwide Children's Hospital. But what I find really powerful for myself is I'm always a person about life, living a life of learning. Mm-hmm. I truly feel if you're not moving forward or learning something, you're falling behind. Someone else is, they're going to surpass you. So I love listening to different podcasts on just learning, whether it's how to cook, how to be a better husband, how to build a different piece of real estate. And you'll find me listening to a lot of these different educational things on just learning. My wife probably gets frustrated with me at times. She's like, can't we just listen to some music? Which I love music.
Right.
But I truly take every minute as an opportunity to learn and grow. And to me, if I'm listening to podcasts of learning something to better myself.
Do you have a favorite podcast? Or kind of like a go-to, like every week besides Lancaster Connects?
Yeah, absolutely. Always this one. I can't honestly say. It depends just on the topic.
Yeah, okay.
If
you seek out
a lot of audiobooks, if there's something I want to learn, if I want to get better at sales to help my team sell better, I'm downloading a sales book. And then, of course, I go and like, guys, like, look at this, read this. And they probably tell me to go away. But I want to learn a new skill, and I want to be able to push that to the team.
Yeah, that's awesome.
If friends had to describe you outside of your work, maybe not. Let's leave Decker's Blueprint aside. Outside of your business work, what would it be?
I think they would probably just say courageous. They know I've just always been a driven person.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I like hearing this or not, but several of my friends and close family say if this has happened to anybody or any family, this is the best family to happen to. And I don't know if that makes me feel good or bad. But I'm actually honored to do it.
Yeah. Well, you're changing lives for many, many other people going through the same sort of thing. So,
Yeah.
It's your turn.
It's my turn.
Yeah, sorry, I'm jumping the gun here.
So live in Mannheim. You've been local for a very, very long. Did you grow up in Lancaster?
Yeah, born and raised Lancaster.
Okay, yeah, all right. So, local business that you love supporting could be food, could be mattresses, could be just a business or two that you love supporting here in Lancaster.
I was going to say mattresses, but since we can't say that, but honestly, I would say Sloan's Pharmacy. Sloan's Pharmacy is a local pharmacy here in Lancaster. Yeah. They have 4 locations, and I know what great people are there working and delivering prescriptions to everybody in our community. And without these small town local pharmacies, I think the drug prescription world looks very different. Just navigating the system, insurances, and I know what they do to go above and beyond to serve their customers. And having gone through a lot of this stuff with Decker and drugs and getting access, having the right partner is really important.
Yeah.
I got to imagine that there's not a lot of small town pharmacies left out there. There's online pharmacies, right? And there's the CVS of the world. And
yeah. So one of our marketing mentors, Dan Kennedy, do you remember him talking about a client of his as a local independent pharmacist?
No.
Yeah. So one of our marketing mentors, Dan, had a client, kind of like a Gardener's Mattress and More. Like we help other mattress stores and furniture stores market and run their business the way we do ours. Well, he had an independent pharmacy client as well. And he would often share the struggles against the big corporations, the Walgreens and the CVSs that they face, and then the insurance aspect as well. So, I can attest to that. I get some of my personal medicine from an independent telehealth, independent telehealth company. I've used another one local, not Sloan, but another one local, and they've been great. So it's a really great shout out.
With the insurance and whatnot out there, and the larger corporations, they're just much harder to deal with. And the smaller pharmacies, I'm afraid that they might be a thing of the past. I don't know how they compete. The insurance dictates a lot. I know sometimes they're losing money on prescriptions. I don't know how you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Well, they at least compete on small town service, right? Yeah. Main street service.
Yeah. Well, kudos to Sloan. So if you can do business with Sloan Pharmacy, please do, because it's helping Dan and the Murphy family out. Because if they're in business, they can help you out, and that means they're helping Decker out. So we like that.
Absolutely.
That's good. Dan, thank you so much for stopping by. Really appreciate you.
It's a powerful story.
Yeah, really is.
Thank you, guys. And I feel like I could talk for hours and share a lot more what we've done, but I'm really proud of what we've done, and I'm not going to lose my son.
Yeah. Well, why don't we bring you on and maybe next year and get an update on Decker's Blueprint and Decker, and
I would love to.
Yeah, it would be awesome.
Get you on maybe a little earlier in the year in advance of the big gala in April of 27.
Oh, that'd be great.
That'd be awesome.
Give it some promotion and some time and some shine, and we'll have known how the golf outing went on May 14th at 1:00 at Overlook Golf. So if you're picking this episode up in replay, or maybe this came out in a reel, be sure to hit the website. And Dan, why don't you rattle off the website and any of the social media channels so people hear them and can go to them one last time?
DeckersBlueprint.org, and then also on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And then please, we do have our donation page there where you can give if this touches your heart.
Yeah, love it. All right. Very good. Well, I'm going to do my sleep better tip real quick. That'll have a testimonial. We'll wrap up our show. So right from our book, Sleep Better, this is on page 40. There's 10 foods that can help you sleep. One is poultry, fish for vitamin B6, yogurt, helps to process hormones.
Ice cream.
Ice cream is not on there, but you know what is, Ben? Kale. Ben is a big fan of kale. Bananas, high in potassium, helps keep you asleep. Whole grains, encourages insulin production. Honey, the glucose in honey lowers levels of orexin, which is a neurotransmitter in your brain that helps make you more alert. Honey puts that alertness in reverse, which is what you want when you sleep. You want your brain to slow down. Nuts, like walnuts, flax seeds, and pumpkin seeds. So at night, choose a healthier food than a snack food like ice cream. Ben, we're here to help people sleep, not enjoy ice cream. But I do love ice cream. Eggs, popular in the morning, but they can also make you sleepy because they have tryptophan. And then white rice has a high glycemic index. And this simply means that it'll help you get that natural increase in blood sugar and insulin, as opposed to all the stuff that we eat that raises that and we don't want it to. So that was a quick rundown. We're really committed to helping you wake up happy, to sleep better. It is more than just a mattress. It is improving your life so you extend your longevity. As Dan is going right after the science for muscular dystrophy, we know that we're at a point in time with all of the tracking devices, all of the access to health and information we have, you can literally turn back your metabolic clock, and a mattress is that charging pad. It is that place and foundation where all of that fuels you sleeping better and waking up happy. And we'd love to be a part of that. And that's why we're so committed to it, and to the point where we'll mail you this book for free. You go to gardenersmattressandmore.com/sleep-better, and we'll get you a free copy in the mail today.
Got a little fired up there. I like it.
I do. I started getting my preach on. no brimstone, but just some mattress preach.
There you go. All right. Testimonial time for Gardener's Mattress and More here. Gardener's is the business that Jeff and I co-own together and affords us the opportunity to bring great guests like Dan on Lancaster Connects and tell stories. But we had a review come in here from Google over the weekend. Took a screenshot and thought it would be great to share here on Lancaster Connects. So this is from Beth, who made a purchase over the weekend. We walked in thinking that we would start at Gardener's, but would check some other places too. We soon found out that we needed to look no further. No need to waste time, right? Their inventory and variety of choices surpassed our expectations, and our salesperson, Chad, shout out Chad Burkhart here, was wonderful, no pressure, and extremely knowledgeable and helpful. We were able to find the perfect mattress along with beautiful bamboo sheets and amazing pillows. If you need a mattress, Gardener's is the place to go. There it is on the screen. Thank you, Chris. Beth, we couldn't have said it better ourselves. We appreciate your business, and we appreciate the kind words towards Chad and towards Gardener's.
Well, and if you're watching and you noticed that on the screen, it hadn't replied yet. I personally replied to all the reviews. I just didn't get around to that yet. It's on my list today to get done. But that kind of ends where we started, that curated selection.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And, she said it in a little different way, that Gardener's is the only place to go. We just work harder, and we want to be that best experience for your home. And well, that wasn't exactly best words. She did touch on where we started, and that it's about our commitment to an incredible selection and really being that best thing for your home. And so what a great testimonial to pick.
That's right.
Love it. All right. Dan, thank you again so much. DeckersBlueprint.org is the place to go. If you like golf, check out the golf outing on May 14th. If you like galas, they'll have one in about 15 months from now in April of 27. But in the meantime, if you love the thought of some of your dollars going to help kids that have muscular dystrophy, or in this case, Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy, like Decker, please do donate. Whatever you can. And if you could put it on repeat, just hit that little button that'll be on the donate page that says, I want to help monthly, and do that monthly. We'd love for you to do that because of Lancaster Connects. And Dan, thanks again for stopping by. Yeah. Appreciate you so much. We'll say prayers for your son, Decker, and your whole family. And thank you again. Everybody else, we'll see you next Monday at 2:00. Take care.